watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television. This is The Sports Source with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into The Sports Source. Happy to have you with us today as we break down the orange and white game. Talk a little off-field problems as well, but it's all things Vol football, SEC football today on The Sports Source. Let's dive right in. First segment brought to you by the folks at Phil Cobble Fine Homes and Land. No realtor in Blount, Loudoun, or West Knox counties does a better job of publicizing your home for sale. For example, you see this beautiful 4,000 square foot home in Farragut? Well, today from 2 to 4 p.m., Phil Cobble himself will be right there hosting an open house. It's on Weatherly Hills Boulevard. That's from 2 to 4 p.m. today. Phil himself will be out there. It is a beautiful home. You see the gorgeous kitchen in there. Very nice. It's right there in that, not far from Turkey Creek Shopping. It's a lovely location. 2 to 4 today. Get out there, 809 Weatherly Hills. Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land. Okay, now here's what's coming up in detail on today's show. First, we talk about the orange and white game. Then, as you know, there's been another arrest in the program. We'll discuss the Von Pearson situation. Quarterbacks, we'll break down how they looked yesterday. We'll figure out at the end of spring confidence, concern, which areas of the team breed which. We'll discuss. Peyton Manning returns to town. That's probably what made the weather stay good for the football game. It wouldn't rain on him. Spring fix. Is there a way to make spring games more interesting? We'll discuss that. Some more Nike news just for kicks. And who is the best player on this team? And as you see, we got a ton of people here today, and let's introduce a ton of those people. Half a ton of people right here. We got that's just me. Yeah, we got Bob Hodge, longtime contributor, not freelance contributor to the Knoxville News Sentinel. Welcome.
Good morning.
Right there, glad to have our football analysts back. Former quarterbacks, Bobby Scott, Sterling Hinton. Good to have these guys with us. And right down there, Chuck Cavaleris, of course, Southern Golf Central. All right. The orange beats the white 54-44. There's no way to keep track of the scoring. There were elements of a traditional scrimmage. Then the second half, the clock runs the whole time. You had the one-on-one competitions. You did the circle of life to start out. You had the wide receivers versus DBs, which the DBs won. You had the tennis speed drill, as they call it, late. There were also 17 guys missing. So my question, just to start out with, it's kind of a pseudo scrimmage. That many guys out, and a lot of the guys who were there were decked out in no contact jerseys. How much could you take away from yesterday's game? Anybody?
I will go with you could take away 30% of 100% of what you're going to see. And I think the big thing to me, the players being out is huge, but those gray non-contact jerseys are just as huge because you don't know how plays are going to end up. You don't know a receiver catches a pass. Did the DB pull up because he was about to light him up, and he wouldn't have caught that pass?
And there was one of those yesterday.
And so I think you factor all that stuff in. You get to see individual guys. You get to see how fast they are, maybe how strong they are. But in the end, as far as a football team, there's not much to take away from it.
Did you guys take much from it?
Bob, you gonna go? Well, what I took from it was the fact that it was another time for the fans to engage with our players. You know, I mean, spring is different from when we played. We hit for 20. And I was live to my junior year. Oh my goodness! But you know, it's a different thing with spring football nowadays. It's a chance for the fans to engage with the players, and that's a highlight of a lot of the Vol countries. Spring, you know, you get a chance to meet guys that you're going to cheer for in the fall, and that's a big thing about the spring game.
Sterling, when you were there, it was attack, always attack.
When I was there, you know, my freshman year, I got lit up a bunch. I mean, you know, and those guys, you know, you got a new guy coming in. It's supposed to be a good player and everything, and the guys on defense want to light you up. And so that happened, but this spring game, I think it was fun. I liked the interaction with the crowd and everything, and I think, you know, Coach Jones doing those drills and stuff like that, showing you what a real practice, you know, is like. I thought it was fun.
The announced crowd was 63,000. It didn't look like there were 63,000.
Yeah, they were just trying to beat my Cavaleris over. I thought I had it nailed.
I was about to throw to it. You jumped over me because I knew you would get your own thing. What I was going to say, though, was with 63,000, a lot of people stayed away probably because of the weather. But haven't these, Chuck, your thoughts on this, these games in Arkansas before Tennessee, for those who weren't there and were watching on SEC Network, they showed Arkansas, a lot of the same stuff. These things, thanks to television, I think, have become more about fans and recruiting than they have actual, okay, I can go and we'll see how the second string linebackers look. I think there's less to take from it in terms of real gamesmanship now and more on the recruiting, and this is our program's chance to sell itself. Your thoughts?
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But I also think in this game, it was more entertaining than a lot of the other ones because your coach is out there with the microphone. And in this, one of the big things to me was with so many players out, count your blessings there weren't any injuries.
Yes.
Because that's one thing that seems to happen. You don't really notice it until it does. And this gave you the chance to see some of these new players for the first time. That was really what I think I take away. And then if you buy into that theory, you make your most improvement from year 1 to year 2 with so many young players. I want to see how many of them look better.
One thing I think everyone was looking for, and you saw it, I thought, tempo. There's been talk, okay, these guys have been in this system for a year or two now, some of them 3 years. The tempo should be faster, and I thought it looked faster. It's hard to gauge that in your head. It's scrimmage versus a real game that you saw 4 months ago. But I think they did look. The execution was pretty crisp for the most part, and I thought tempo was up.
He let the Letterman players, stay down on the sidelines during the game and everything. And I agree with you 100%. It looked like, I saw 2 or 3 times where the play wasn't just barely over, and then they were running, substitutions in and everything. So I think the tempo is picking up for sure.
Well, it definitely is picking up. I'm just glad that no other team plays as fast as we do. Because by the time we got to the first stanza of third down for what, it was gone. I'm like, what's going on, man? You got to let that ride.
Third down for what? Now, it was there yesterday. Is it going to be there in the fall? Has it been decided yet?
Coach is going to make that decision in the fall.
Okay. So it may third down for what? Maybe back, or it may be something else.
We're working on something else. But third down for what is not going anywhere, but just working on something to supplement that.
What if he makes the decision in the summer?
I'm not scared.
Okay.
Very good, guys. All right. So much for the fun part of our show. We're going to have to call timeout for this next segment. We're going to be joined by Jimmy Himes, Mike Strange, and they never bring fun. But no, Jimmy and Mike join us, and we're going to talk about a serious issue. Unfortunately, yet another rape allegation tied to a University of Tennessee football player. We got to discuss it. We'll talk about it when we come back on the Sports Source.
Quality, quick. Trust Fast Frame.